Hey guys, it's your boy Pat. Welcome back to the next episode of the Hollow Down Cigar Lounge. Got another hopeful badass show for you guys today, and we're gonna jump straight into it and bring back somebody that you guys might recognize a little bit. We got the bearded dragon OG down here, Mr. Derek.
Oh,
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing,
I didn't
Derek?
see you there. How'd you get in my backyard?
Hey, man, I told you I was gonna come visit some. That's what happens. I just pop up.
And you picked the coldest time of year. Good job.
I know. And of course, as always, we got Mr. Chad up here with us hanging out for the day.
How's everybody doing?
So we're all smoking one today that we're going to light up is, unless I'm having a brain fart, pretty sure we haven't done this brand on the show yet, I don't think. It'll be Esteban Carreras. This is the 10 años, which is the 10-year, and show this up close and personal to you guys. This is a brand that we kind of feel is, or at least I kind of feel, is somewhat underrated. Yeah, they always have good flavors. Some things we'll talk about as we go along. But we're going to cut and light these puppies up. I say that just for Derek's benefit.
Good to know nothing's changed, huh?
No. I tried to do good and one time start being better about not saying that we were cutting puppies, and then I referenced you making fun of me, and well, it just kind of stuck again. So here we are.
Cutting puppies.
Cutting puppies. Well, I started saying, we're going to light these babies up, and I was like, I probably should be lighting babies. And then
Shouldn't say that either.
my next correction was puppies. Like, well, that's not much better.
Well, I mean, either way, you're going to get in trouble.
Yep.
I'm surprised you're not canceled, by the way.
Dude.
I tried my hardest, all right?
If Editing World goes like it should, the last show that aired was with James Garcia from BL Luxuries. We just had him on the show, and he asked us where our filter limit was. And I meant to go on a rampage and talk about Woot and how he thought we were going to get canceled on like episode 5. And it turned out to be at the time, one of the best viewed shows. So sometimes realism is just what it is. Well, there's not a whole lot online, but before we start rambling, I will give you the lowdown on what we have on this cigar. It is not much. Esteban Carreras 10 Años Maduro. Comes from Nicaragua. Got a dark brown San Andres wrapper. The 10 Años is referenced off of the 10-year aged Nicaraguan long filler and binder. Notes should be present for some pepper and some cocoa, so more simple, classic flavor profile. Medium to full body presence. And of course, as y'all know, and as y'all should be able to see, this is a box pressed. I almost want to call it a soft box press. It's kind of halfway between a soft and a sharp.
I was going to ask, did it used to be a box press?
So
it looks like it escaped.
Even mine, it's a box press,
funny.
but it's not a sharp. So I'm not sure if you got a soft mold or maybe if
Mine's the same way. Mine's
yours the same way.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say this is a soft box, but they probably just call it a box, maybe.
Maybe because I mean it's got curves, but it's not.
Like
super
one of my corners is super defined, and then the rest are round. If that makes sense. Like if you look down there, my top right corner is super defined, and then I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but you can see that sharp edge.
Yep.
Now the rest of it you can't see any.
Oh yeah, did you see a good shadow from the light on that first one?
Yeah, so I got one sharp edge where I would call that a true box, and then the rest is kind of soft box.
Could be that this is a soft box and you just maybe got the one at the end of the mold that was by the clamp or something too. Could be.
Do you have any hard lines on any of yours? Like if you look at, is there any sharp edge on any of them, or
no? Mine all are soft. There's like a crease right here, but I don't even know if I'd call it a crease because it's not actually on the curve. So,
What
yeah,
about you,
no,
Derek?
Very little. I mean, closer towards the butt of it. Yeah, I've got a couple of hard lines, but then towards the actual body of the cigar, it's more rounded. But is anybody else having like no resistance on the draw at all? Because this is like sucking air through a straw.
it's very open. Very open draw to me.
Mine's not bad open, though. I'm still getting smoke. But it is pretty open.
So one thing I've noticed with pretty much I've had a lot of Esteban Carreras. They're not technically classified as a budget stick, but they're pretty close to budget pricing. You usually get they like to do a lot of the 5-pack sampler or 5 cigar sampler packs that are usually, $35 to $40. So, this kind of like $7 to $8 range usually. But with the exception of probably the Devil's Hand, which is one of their top ones, that one's good, solid construction. All the rest of them, the flavors have never really seemed to wane on me, but you'll be at a hit or miss if it's going to be, nice and firm and solid, or if it's going to be a little spongy. So I think there's a little bit of construction inconsistency with the brand, but so obviously that's going to portray a little bit into your open draw. So there's not as much packed tobacco in there.
Yeah, I'm not getting a ton of smoke. I think that was maybe Derek's point.
Yeah.
You pull on it, and it's like you feel like there should be a lot more smoke coming out, but you're not getting that.
It disappears pretty quickly. But we'll see how it goes and see what things are looking like. So Eric, we've been talking about weather lately. I'm currently in the garage with a heater. Sure you can tell Chad's got a fishing tent outside.
Not fishing either.
Yeah, not fishing.
No fishing going on in here.
So, how's things been since you had to shift your life over to the East Coast? You getting used to the weather? Or is it kind of a
Over here?
Yeah,
it's not far off. I mean, winter's a little bit colder, but only by a few degrees. And I was lied to about the humidity. I was told it was going to be much better. Fucking lie.
What's the temperature right now where you're at?
Right now, I think it's like the high is like 46 right now. I mean, it gets down to the 20s, but I don't think it's much different from back home. I think you guys over in Shreveport are probably lows in the 30s or so. You're still freezing?
That's pretty much right where we've been at. We had one day recently that got in the 20s, and it was a single day. Everything's been kind of 30 to 50 in that ballpark still.
Yeah, we've been like low to mid 20s in the morning, and then low to mid 40s in the afternoon.
Well, I did, in your honor, I decided to pair this with, I've got a drink, but in homage to Derek, monkey shoulder time. This is actually the bottle that he got me. I've been sipping on it because I've been bouncing back between some other stuff. So this is actually the bottle he got me not long before he had to roll out. So it's good stuff.
Did you say, Pat, where you got these and what you paid for them or anything like that?
Oh, I did not. That is my fault. I got distracted. So I actually picked these up. This time I did not get them online. I got them at what I consider my home lounge, an hour away, Tobacco Junction in Longview, Texas. This one I know I did not get this one out of a bundle pack.
He's waving.
Can't do it. Hey,
I swear that is not normal. I've never heard a plane pass over this house, and I just so happened to get buzzed by an F-14 the day we record.
Hey, feels like home. When
that's the thing. There's not an Air Force base here. There's an Army base. There's no Air Force.
Somebody needed fuel. But Chad, we used to have this problem here all the time. We'd stop and restart because the Air Force base here When I recorded with Justin over in Texas, Air Force, Air Base there, we've had an issue. So just kind of homage back to the old school.
There you
But
go.
I did not get this one from a bundle pack. I actually bought them specifically. I paid a little over $6 for them, and if I remember correctly, the day that I got them, I think I had a 10% off coupon, so they were probably supposed to be around $7 a piece. Because I've only had them in the humidor for just under 3 months, so they're probably I'd say it should have been retail would have been around the $7 a piece, and this is more or less a Churchill. It didn't actually say the dimensions, and I should have gone and looked it up, but it's pretty much a skinny box press Churchill.
Yeah.
What it is.
They would call it a box press Toro or Churchill, one or the other. I agree.
It's kind of right between on the length. It feels like maybe
Yeah.
a 6.5, but it might be 7. But it's not an expensive cigar at all. I said it's technically not budget, but it's kind of in that ballpark. So, I mean, initial, obviously just that first inch, I'm getting nothing but exactly what it said, pepper and cocoa. I'm not getting anything else yet. So we'll see if it's that pure simple or if it's going to transition into anything.
I'm getting a little slight run. I'm going to touch up just so I don't have a problem later. Because I already feel like I have to pull way too hard on this thing.
Hey, Pat, you inspired me. I'm going to run and grab a drink real quick, and then I will be right back.
Go for it.
Commercial break.
Commercial break. I'm not opposed to letting the man get a drink.
No.
I'm not going to. I just asked. I was going to see if it'd go, but it was starting to pull on me a little bit, and I don't want to make a mess on the computer, so I went ahead and asked it. But there's some other ones that I do want to bring on the show periodically, mostly because I'm curious to see what your thought process on them. Some are basic. This was actually, if I remember it properly, I think this was intended to be one of their first introductions into getting into premium blends with that long aged tobacco. But
yeah, it's a 10-year tobacco that they used on this.
Yeah, all of the binder and filler is 10-year aged Nicaraguan. I know they've done some other premium scents that I think are better, like the Devil's Hand. That one's fantastic. They've got a new one that I haven't had yet. I think it's called the Dictator or something like that. That I've seen good reviews on. But this, from my understanding, I think this was their first attempt at going into a more premium aged blend. Their other ones are just good solid tobacco. This was, I think, their first aged one.
Yeah, I don't know much about the brand as a whole at all, really.
I ran across them on a sampler pack a few years ago, and I couldn't tell you where I originally found them at. But periodically, I've noticed a lot of brick and mortars. I don't know if it's a strong up northeast. I guess you'll just have to pay attention and come back and let us know. But I know, most brick and mortars, if you go to that section where they've kind of got the seal humidified packs, they're kind of like the random 5 bundles of the various brands do. I usually find these a lot in those, and the pack will be like a Toro pack or a Gordo pack, but it'll have 5 different ones of these, and they're all kind of random. That's usually where I find these the most at. More individually sampled than they are boxes.
Yeah. I think all companies should have to do something like that. It's my opinion, because it helps people as the consumer to try all the different blends, or at least a lot of the different blends, without buying a box or a 5-pack of each one.
Right.
It's a real good way to get familiar with whatever the company, and they should put their best foot forward. Like
Agreed.
We talked with Greg on the one show. He's considering doing that, or
That is.
That's a great idea, I think, just to get your brand out in front of everybody. Give them a real quick rundown of what you do and what you do best.
Like, hey, we're not a legacy brand yet, hopefully, but here's our line. Here's the ones that we think are top dogs. Get them and try them out and see what you think. So you'll have to let me know next time you go. I don't know if Secreto's got them or any other shops near you. I don't know if they do that up there as much as they do down south. I know retail vibes slightly different styles, but let's see if you find them, because that's usually where I find them at. See what you come up with.
Is there any good shops close to you, Derek?
Not that I could tell. Nope.
No.
We were walking downtown, and my wife goes, "Hey, there's probably cigars in there. You want to go in?" It's a vape shop, babe. I don't think they sell those here. They sell cigars, probably, not these
Yeah,
kinds.
yeah. A lot of
There's
times, even though some of those do have good brands, but the problem is they if it's vape centric and tobacco centric, usually they're not
Yeah, their
conscious of
cigars
how
are
they
made to be
keep their
busted open.
cigars. Right, like they're not taking good care of them. Their humidification's wrong. They're just stuck in a humidor with no humidification or whatever the
Yep.
case is.
there's
Wouldn't trust it.
there's one vape shop here that just has an electric humidor out on the counter. That one's actually taken care of, but it's small, so they have like 3 boxes in there at a time. Um, there's a couple in Dallas that I've gone to, like the TikTok Smoky that I usually get those Perdomo, Texas from. Big humidor, but they don't focus as much on it, so you got to take a little bit extra time if you want something out of there actually looking to make sure your cigar's in good condition, whatever. Because that's not their baby. They're selling it because it's a smoke related product, but they're about vape. Vape and hookah is kind of where most of those are going to go for primarily. So selection and quality control may be subpar when it comes to actual cigars.
Yeah, I know the Wild Bills in our area. They do a pretty good job of having a nice humidor and a good selection. That's one of the only places I know that kind of does both.
Right.
And does it, okay, but the rest of the places I wouldn't trust.
Well, Derek, since we let you run off screen for a minute, what did you end up going to get for your drink? Anything good?
My old go-to. It's a Evan Williams bottled in bond.
Okay.
It's the goat, man. 100 proof. It's a little higher up here. I know I was getting them in Louisiana for about $18 a bottle, man. You can't really beat that.
No, not for anything. It's like shoot, what is it? Grant Scotch, one of the cheap scotch of the world. It's actually fantastic, and it's like $15 for a fifth. Sometimes money doesn't always equate to expected value. You get surprises.
Right. I mean, if you need a daily drinker, not all of us can go out and spend $200 a bottle or even $50 a bottle. Because I just go through it too fast. I don't get that much value out of it. But
Right.
for 20,
yeah, that translates to cigars too. Same
yeah.
said for that, right? You can get great $6 sticks, and you can get.
Well, what I told him when I first started doing the show was like, thank God I met Pat, because I didn't realize you can spend less than $20 on a cigar and get something good.
Oh yeah,
man, I can give you a list a mile long of bangers for $9 for sure.
And we've talked about it. We haven't done it yet. We're gonna do a show with the four of us at some point and just kind of list what is our top yard guards and be like, okay, these are quote unquote cheap sticks, but what are good ones? What was it? I know we've talked about it a few times. Oh, that Perdomo Fresca. It was what, $6?
It was 3, wasn't it?
It was
3 or 4. I think they were $80 a bundle of 25.
So yeah, just under 4.
I don't remember exactly, but
the
puck we did was just phenomenal for
the Alec Brass
$4.
Oh my god, that was a $4 stick. That's just what happens is things that don't cost as much. There's less variations of tobacco in the blend, but it can be just as solid. Like neither one of those had had crazy transitions, but the flavor
They had none. It was just straight across. Yep.
But man, they were good smokes, and So
something's going to stay lit, taste good, and if you're going to be distracted, that's what you should smoke. Because who wants to spend $15? Doing yard work and not paying attention to a cigar that needs to be paid attention to.
Right. So sometimes, money spent doesn't always equate to value and quality. So you can have some good ones that are low down, and, it's kind of fun getting samplers and trades and those blind buys from BL. You get stuff that you wouldn't expect, and then you find out that you find this cheap cigar. It's like, man, okay, I'm gonna go buy this again.
Yeah, what was the one we did that we didn't like though? It was a cheaper one.
Well, the only one that I think it was off air, because the only one I've done on the show so far that I didn't like was the Black Crown Menace that you liked. So I feel like there might have been one off. It might have been one of our virtual Hearst sessions that we talked about one. So far,
yeah, we're talking about budget sticks. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know for a fact that. You're talking about the Quorum.
Oh gosh. Yes, I'm 100% talking about. Dennis gave me one of those.
That's what it is.
And it died in the ashtray shortly after I lit it. It didn't make it an inch and a half in. I couldn't smoke it. It wouldn't draw. It tasted like shit. It was like.
Because I think the only positive thing I could say about it was that it was okay. I couldn't even give you any adjectives. It's just, and that was a stretch.
You noped it?
Man, I let it die in the ashtray. It was not very often do I let a cigar die.
Yeah, Derek, that is all I bet you would say is just nope, because it's not worth. There's some.
I think I can find a word for nope though. I can tell you all about stuff I don't like.
Well, it's in the price point of like the factory smokes, except the factory smokes are decent cigars.
Yeah.
They serve a purpose. Yep.
They serve a purpose. They're simple, they're straightforward, but those Quorums, man. Not to turn the show into a bash beating contest, but that's rough. But yeah,
if they're bad, they're bad. We're gonna tell people they're bad. That's fine.
But yeah, if you're watching, and you haven't had one, by all means, go attempt to try one, because just let us know, because the Black Crown Menace, me, Woot, and Johnny Bravo, was like one of our early shows. It was like episode 7, I think. It was like a New Year's show a couple years ago. It was supposed to have some earthiness, and we all thought it had so much earth. We just kept referencing that it tasted like eating the dirt off of a gravesite. Fast forward a couple of years, Chad gets one, and he likes it. So I don't know if it was we got a bad box. Did they adjust the blend over a couple years?
Yeah, lots of things can happen in that time.
A lot of things can happen. So just because we talk trash about a cigar, I always say try something at least once, because you may love something that we hate and vice versa. But that might be a stretch for that one. But still, go give it a shot. You never know.
Hear me out. Maybe they saw the show and were like, "Man, we got to change something."
Right.
Yeah, you had some influence. Yeah.
There's times on the show where we have like stall points, where we stop talking before we segue into something. That was different. I actually had to put up an overlay at one point and said something like, obviously we're not impressed, because we were trying to not completely trash, because the show was a new show and I didn't want to get put off right off the bat, but we were struggling to find anything to say other than it being stout and just dirt. So
did it smoke well? You could have talked about its construction, or was it terrible?
The construction was fine. Woot dropped his early on the corner, and it never burnt right because he knocked some of the ash off and he kept lighting it. So he had problems, but we think it was from him physically dropping it, because me and Johnny didn't have any problems with construction and flow. So I think it was built well. It was just, I don't know if maybe we got a bad bundle, the leaves didn't ferment right or something. Because I still see them sold on sale, so they're still a popular cigar. So I don't know if we just got unlucky or what.
Yeah, the one I had wasn't fantastic by any means, but it wasn't as it was pretty good. I was kind of surprised when I smoked it. It was pretty smooth, which was the thing you were like, no, this cigar we smoked was not smooth in any way.
No, it wasn't.
Mine was smooth, but it was strong, but it was smooth. It was a strange mixture of strength and being smooth at the same time, if that makes any sense. But I liked it. I was like, man, this is a good stick. And I didn't even know anything about it, know how much it cost or anything.
Right.
And then that's when you were like, I smoked that thing and it tasted like a bag of ass. And I was like, well,
pretty much.
I don't know.
because usually we're on par with things that we like in our profiles and palettes. So I was surprised when you said you liked it. It caught me off guard.
It was definitely a better smoke than a Quorum, that's for sure.
This one, however, does not taste like a bag of ass. I don't think so, anyway. It's actually not bad.
Are you getting any of that pepper or cocoa out of it at all, or are you getting anything different? Just that's really. It. That's what it is.
It's a good smoke.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this what I found so far is there's been zero change, but it's pepper and cocoa. It did frustrate me a little bit in the first inch because I wasn't able to get the smoke production I wanted. I was like Derek said, what was your reference? You were sucking something through a straw.
Through a straw.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing coming out. Like you're pulling, but you weren't getting the smoke that your mouth expected. But now that I'm farther in, it's starting to produce a little bit of smoke. I don't know if you guys is getting any better on that regard, but
I was to the point that I agree because I was about an inch away from making a reference that I could pull up Derek's trend which I've done on the show. FYI, Derek, if you haven't seen, I pull up your smoke in the camera trend every once in a while.
Oh,
this one, probably the last quarter inch, half an inch, it's starting to get a little bit more smoky.
Yep, that's what I've noticed too.
So even not trying, it's on a standard puff. It's actually, so I don't know, maybe just the end. If they didn't bunch it all the way before they trimmed it, maybe the end was a little off, but it seems to be getting better.
I would have been more satisfied cutting the first inch off the cigar and starting an inch in.
See, I didn't have that at all because, even though it was an easy draw, I still got plenty of smoke on it, and it's just kind of kept going throughout. But, I didn't have any problems with the smoke from the beginning.
Mine wasn't making or producing smoke. Was yours, Pat, was yours the same? You had the same experience or no?
Exact same experience. First off, it was barely enough smoke to be there. It wasn't billowing at all. And
it was making me a little angry.
It was.
Like, where's the smoke? Where's the smoke?
And now that you're on a show with Derek, Chad, you can see why I will, with the exception of the Cohiba Red Dot that we have on standby, I try not to ever give Derek a Robusto for a show because
he will be fast.
He does. Yeah, he's been that way from day one. He's just But what's interesting, between him and Justin, they both smoke fast. I do not understand how. Derek almost never gets a torpedo from smoking fast, where Justin can get plugs and torpedoes. So even though Derek's smoking fast, it always seems to still burn even.
Oh, he doesn't get the big pointy ash, you mean?
He doesn't. Very rarely will I've ever seen Derek have. And that the torpedo is usually a sign of you smoking too fast, and Derek almost never gets it. So it's crazy.
Is it experience or magic?
Hold that up. They say that you should have it look about like a number 2 pencil. So what you got there is perfect.
Yeah.
But it'll start going nuts on you if you're really letting her have it.
It's it's
what was that?
Go ahead.
What was that one we went through? Well, I think I was almost done within the first 10 minutes. It just you could watch it burn as I was just holding it up to the camera.
That was I remember because that was the Nica Libre Maduro.
It was.
So he got a bad one where who smoked that with us? Was that
that was Matt, I believe.
I can tell you because I have a little short list. Yeah, that was Matt. So me and Matt had ours were constructed pretty well. And I think how we reference it is it felt like Derek's was missing an entire leaf because you could squish it, squish it flat. Like his was just, it felt like it was missing something in the bunching. So his burnt so fast. So on top of him smoking fast and then getting one that didn't have enough leaf, man, he burnt through that sucker quick.
I did enjoy it though.
That's I've haven't had one do that before, haven't had one do it after. So sometimes you just get a bad one.
And I noticed you sent me one after I'd moved up here, and I smoked it, and I didn't enjoy it as much as the one that I ripped through really quick. So maybe it's a me thing.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I sent you that 5-pack. Be like, hey, sorry, I gave you a bad one. Try these, and that's interesting.
It was still good. It just I don't know. Maybe it was off the amount of liquor I had that day.
Is that an Equilibre, a budget stick?
I think so.
More or less, yeah.
Probably going to get some inconsistencies with it. You'll get a good one or a bad one, or one that explode, or like you had one that doesn't have any tobacco in the middle, or whatever.
They have a is it a? Let's see. I think I've got one. They've got one that's more of a. I don't want to necessarily call it a true premium or limited, but it's a step up. It's the 25th anniversary silver. That's pretty decent. The rest of them are kind of. I mean, they're good smokes. They have a not like a Rocky Patel expanse line, but they do have a line of various flavors and blends that are all decent. But I would put them more towards the budget end.
Seems like I've seen bundles of those places, or if I'm thinking right.
Which is kind of equivalent to what we're smoking here. It's straight, and I know we're not talking a whole lot about it like we do some cigars, but it's just straightforward, I think. In fact, I think if I go over to Esteban Carreras website, they have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, they got 20 different blends, most of which I've had. There's a couple that I haven't. There's a couple that I want to try. Like they've got a bloodline line that looks fantastic. I haven't had, but all the ones in their standard, I guess, offerings. Mr. Brownstone is great. Chupacabra is great. The Unforsaken. The okay, so I caught myself. That's what I did. So there's a cigar that I don't know if they got in. They had to change the name of it, or if they got into some copyright stuff. But there's one that's my favorite so far. Was called the Devil's Hand. The line back here was black gold and just had solid red. Kind of like a hell and brimstone type thing. It is now called the Dictator's Hand. But that is the exact same cigar. So that is a revelation I'm discovering right now. So that is a curiosity of mine. I thought that was going to be a new cigar. Nope, the box and everything's the same, just except for it now says Dictator instead of Devil.
I just started reading that book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yesterday.
So
that's a book?
Yeah, it's a Jack Carr book.
Huh. I've heard of that.
Maybe that's what it was. Jack Carr's like, no, you can't have that name.
It could be because, if you get something copyrighted, no matter what it's at, you own it. So,
do you really want Jack Carr coming to look for you?
Probably not. I mean, it's like Greg Free talked about, his brand being Fuerte Libre. He changed it just because Fuerte was so close to some other stuff. So, if you own a copyright, you own it. That's kind of what it's there for. So you can protect your calls to a certain degree. But I don't know. It makes me want to look it up and see. But there's some other lines in these. So this is a brand that I think on the budget is a good one to put in rotation. They're nothing fancy. They're nothing crazy. They're definitely not going to be a Fuente or a Dunbarton or something like that. But they're definitely good to put in rotation. And this one's still burning well for me. So even though it's a little spongy, it's still burning well, I think.
You had to take your wrapper off already, Derek? That's
amazing. The whole thing's kind of coming apart.
He's a little bit ahead of me. Let's see here.
Now let's see. Let's show and tell. So Chad, yeah, yep.
I'm actually smoking this one pretty slow.
And I'm just now,
Yeah, and we're about the same spot, I think.
And then Derek,
stick sizes.
Yes, we are.
Of course.
You said stick, right?
He said stick, right? That's what he said.
Yeah. And once again, I got the short one.
Well, that's usually me. So,
where's Ellen when you need her?
It is cold out.
It is cold.
Shrinkage is a thing. Seinfeld. You guys watch Seinfeld?
Oh man, that's old school classic, man.
Yeah. That's a show you can just turn on, and it doesn't matter what episode you're watching, and just start laughing.
Yep. And it's crazy because Seinfeld has a stand up. I don't like him as much in stand up as I do in the show. Like,
No, me
it's
either.
it's
There's a
just
His
lot of people
stand-up's
like
just
that.
okay. His stand-up's just okay, but his show is good.
show's great.
Well, I think it's not because it's not just him. Like Kramer's like the best part of that show, and
Oh my
I
god.
think and George, like he's not up. They're not up there doing stand-up with him. They're what makes the show great.
Feed off of it back and forth and
Mm-hmm.
busting out apartment doors.
Kramer's a nut.
Mm-hmm. So we're oh, I meant to show this too. This is completely brain fart. So like I said, when I bought these man, I'm gonna see if this I want to show y'all this cello. Let's see if it'll actually show up on camera or not. Let's see. So this is a put it right in
Yeah,
front
you
of the
can see it. Looks
put it
yellow.
in front of the hat a little bit. You can see that just good yellow cello. They couldn't tell me exactly how long these have been on the shelf because they had already. It was technically on the discontinued side, which is just when they're starting to pull stuff out. A lot of times it could be a discontinued product, or sometimes it's just an older box and they're about to pull in new stuff, but the date stamp wasn't on it. So I don't know how long they'd had these in the store, but pretty smooth. Show some
Yeah, like
age.
I said, I think it's a pretty basic profile, and it's just running straight
Yeah.
across.
There's
For me, those are the kinds of cigars I'll never remember. Like, whenever you think about a cigar that you want to smoke again, it has to have done something for you.
right.
Like I remember that and I want to smoke that again. So these to me are like, you'll never remember them. You'll never want to go back to them type cigars. But like you said, they serve a purpose in the regard that if you just want to not pay
Yep.
attention to something and smoke it when you're in your yard picking up sticks or whatever.
Like if you mention this brand, my thought always goes to the Devil's Hand or Dictator's Hand now, and the Chupacabra. Those two are great cigars. Everything else I can have or I've had, but I'd have to go to their website to tell you what the names are. It just doesn't. They're good. It just doesn't punch you in the gut as a memory.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's like that puck for me. I don't like too much Alec Bradley stuff at all,
Right.
if any. But same thing for me with that puck. It's a great budget stick for running around the yard. But would I ever remember it enough? There was no transition in it, so for me,
It's not when you're going to walk in specifically looking for that.
I'm not gonna
cigar.
go looking for one, right? But
Right.
if you hand it to me, I'll smoke it because I'll smoke anything.
Right. And it's been fun watching Derek as we've given him stuff because we first started talking, and he said this probably on the show before. My cap's starting to unroll a little bit. So it is a shallow cap, so it's there, but it's trying to unroll on me. He was afraid that he wasn't going to know what to talk about because he didn't have, like he said earlier, always thinking that you had to have $5 cigars, and you try stuff, you pull it out and find out there's some good stuff, but it doesn't always mean it's going to be something that you remember want to go back to. It just means that you might be willing to smoke it next time it comes around.
Yeah, for sure.
If somebody hands you one and says, "Here, get in front of a camera and smoke this and talk about stuff," okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's like I said, I'll smoke anything. You can hand me a bundle of rolled up
Anything you
leaves. I'll
say.
try it one time.
So, since I'm talking about this, this is what my cap is doing. So oh, come on, focus, puppy. It's kind of unraveling on me, but it's just pulling up. Did y'all do straight cuts on these? I wasn't watching. What y'all do?
I straight cut mine, and it's my construction. After all the things I don't have great to say about the cigar, that's the one thing that I'll say is great. Like I have had zero issues with my cap, stayed right together. Now where I'm smoking it, it's not splitting. I had to touch it up one time at the very beginning because it was running a little bit, but I'm not sure if that was from my initial light being a little bit off or not.
Right.
So it's construction's been pretty good.
In fact, I think I'm gonna have to just pull this off and keep it from unrolling because it's. I mean, I did a V cut, which usually on box press works well for me, but probably a little bit too shallow. I probably should have straight cut it, but is what it is.
It kind of had a weird top. Like a lot of the box presses have a little more square end on them, and the cap wraps around a little farther. This was kind of a bulbous end, so it was kind of a mixture between a squarish end and almost the Pareo style round.
Right.
So it was kind of an odd cap or odd top. So. And Derek, see how many caps were on it, too? Before I ever looked.
I think it's just, now that I've pulled this off, mine I think only has a single cap because it goes from the single cap and it goes straight into the rest of the wrapper. So,
yeah,
I'm not seeing any resemblance of a second cap at all. It's a single. Which, if I'd have slowed down and paid attention to, usually that's when I will not V-cut, but I didn't stop and look beforehand. I just ripped it. So
Derek is almost nubbing his. He's got an inch and a half left.
It's getting colder.
My goodness.
Getting colder.
Oh, wow. He just powers through it.
Yeah, when the three of us come on, because I've done the Cohiba blue on here. I know Derek's got the red dot. We'll do it. We'll definitely have to make sure we have gotten past the intro before we light that cigar, or Derek will be watching us talk.
That's pretty much what I'm doing anyway.
Is that a Robusto? Is that what you're pointing at? Was it a Robusto?
Yeah, because it's a Robusto. Because all the ones I had of that cigar and the one I sent him is Robusto. Unless I go buy him a Toro to smoke with us.
I haven't smoked a ton of Cohibas either. New World ones.
They're not bad. They're
I've had the black.
The black is good. The Cohiba Nicaragua I actually like a lot. It's pretty good. I'll get that one. I see them. But the red, the blue I've had. There's a couple like the Riviera I haven't had. I've heard good things about that one. They do have a couple. Now I can see the box. I can't think of the name of it.
The Weller one is
that
awesome.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Like maroonish or something.
5 of those. Well, the new one is blue. No, I think you're trying to remember a different one. So the Weller Reserve one is like a whiskey stick. It's supposed to be the wrappers were supposed to be fermented in the barrels or whatever, but they've come out with those 2 or 3 times now. The first ones I bought were black, and the new line that just came out is in a blue. And they come in tubos only. You can only buy them in a tubo. But they're really good. But they're $20-some a stick.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, you're right. That's not what I was thinking of. Straight
the
blue.
Purpley one, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what it's called. Is that what you're talking about? It has a
I'm trying to think of. It's gonna bother me. Let's see. There's the Weller. Oh, the purple one is the Riviera. I was getting the mixed up. So the other one, it's the Macassar, the one I haven't had.
Yeah, I haven't had that either. Really, just I think the Cohiba Black, and then the Weller one. The Weller one is fantastic. But
I do know the Royales are really good too. But the ones I smoke the most are probably the red, blue, and Nicaragua. But blacks and Rivieras are good. So their core line is actually not that bad.
Is the Nicaragua the one with just an old school white Cohiba label?
It's it's more of a it's like a black and silverish.
The one I'm thinking of it has almost all white on the band with the black, and it's just a Cohiba. But I don't remember. I've smoked that, but it's been a long time ago.
I forget which one is. Now the Royale is, well, the original band might have, because that band is pretty much just like a whitish background. It just says Cohiba, but in like fine letters underneath it, it'll say Royale, so it could be that one. Otherwise, I'm not sure.
I'll look it up when we get done, but I don't know if that's it.
I'm not sure.
It's like the OG looking band.
Oh, no. That's
look, if you think of Cohiba, it would look just like what you think.
That's their straight Connecticut. The original, I think that was their first, the New World, because it's not the same Cohiba as the Cuban Cohiba. I'll throw that out there. But the New World Cohiba, I think that was just the OG Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds about right. Yeah, for sure. I haven't smoked any of those. Was it Scepter or Spectre, and then
it's I'm not sure about that one. That doesn't ring a bell, unless I'm getting the names mixed up again.
I think it was Scepter. They had one with that fancy humidor. You push the button and the tubo lifts up out of it.
I remember that.
There. Do you remember that? The thing was awesome.
I don't remember what it was called, but that may be what it was.
I mean, you were paying for the
humidor.
Yeah, it was like a little each tube you could basically they were metal or aluminum tubes and they unthreaded. Yep. They were really sweet looking, but
paying for the look and the feel and atmosphere.
The cigar is probably $9, but
right,
$40 a piece.
Yep.
Oh. You got some kind of a screwdriver or something you can stick in there, Derek, or like
I've got a knife somewhere.
There you go. Nice work.
It's I don't know if you can see it or not, but
yeah. I offered one time to get Derek a number, and he told me it wasn't needed, and he just stuck his knife in it. So it's usually what I see him do, which it works.
Yeah, just get creative and use whatever's laying around. That's what I do.
Speaking of,
I use a corkscrew.
Have a stick.
Yeah, stick will work.
Got a stick.
two sticks, and you can use them like a prong. Put two sticks
I like
together.
the way you think.
What was it? Chad forgot to bring his number one time, but he had his corkscrew nearby, and he literally just put the end of the corkscrew, so he had this huge number.
It was awesome.
It works, hey.
Yeah, it's because I needed a bottle opener for the Doritos.
So that's right.
I had it out there with me, and my bottle opener on the one end has a wine opener, and the other end is a bottle opener. So I just happened to have it sitting with me.
Speaking of, I'll put this up in the show right now, but I was at Walmart the other day, and I was going to send you this picture, but Walmart's trying to do you a solid, and I'll see if you can. I don't know if y'all be able to see this or not, but I'll put it up here. But they had 1.5 liter bottles of. Oh, maybe I should put me up.
Oh, is that like almost like just a little smaller than a 2 liter then, huh?
It's your favorite flavor, though.
Oh gosh, no way! I have one of those in the fridge up there because my wife bought another assortment. So maybe we'll have to break it out just to abuse me on the show.
Yeah. Derek, in case you missed it, we legit had a photo contest because of Chad's reaction when he tried the tamarind flavor Doritos, and it's the only one that they have that they should probably just stop producing. It is to the point gross that it caused him to reference the Fluffer Nutter. It was that bad.
Ooh, that's pretty bad.
I've only heard tales of Fluffer Nutter.
Keep it that way.
I don't drink anymore, so otherwise Pat would have sent me one, I'm sure.
I would have. Anytime we
if
have
you were on the fence about drinking and he sent you one, you wouldn't be a drinker anymore.
Right. Make you quit real quick, huh?
Those couple episodes talking about it made such an impression that anytime almost any one of us has something we don't like, it gets referenced against Fluffer Nutter. So,
incoming lawsuit from Abita.
Right. Sorry, guys. Everything else they did was fantastic, but that.
You said it was a local brewery or something that has some.
I mean, you can get them everywhere now, but they're from Louisiana.
Yeah, and they do a lot of seasonal drinks, that are great. Just that one is just the memories. And we hit about was it a month or two ago? I think my phone gave me the. Because it's got an Android, so Google will give you the memories, and I was getting the flashbacks of my Google Photos of us drinking that at the Mario Party.
Oh, yeah. Because that was around New Year's.
It was like right before New Year's.
You still have your band on, Pat?
I do. I'm not far from taking it off, but still got it on for now.
I'm getting down into Derekville almost.
Derek's Bill, love it.
And I tried shoving a stick through there, and it's too soft. I can't actually get through the cigar without breaking it.
Just pushing the tobacco over.
Yeah, so I think this one's just about done.
But I'll tell you, for a nothing fancy, it's similar to the Fresco and the Puck. It is not a complex cigar. It's not one that we can write a novel about. Which, when I was looking up things to say, not even the websites that were talking about reviews had much to say about it. It's just cocoa pepper. I think I saw one note said that there might be a touch of wood, which I've gotten a couple like minor hits
that yeah,
maybe something woody, but it's so subtle. Still,
do yourself a favor, just push it through the first inch right through this thing and clip
Agreed.
it off, and then light it, because otherwise you're going to be hating life for about the first 15 minutes. I couldn't get any smoke. 10 minutes maybe.
I'm curious to know if that's the same on, a Toro or Robusto size. I don't know if it's the Churchill and the bunching just didn't go down all the way. Oh, hell yeah. Hold on. We're showcasing this. This is the number of the day right there.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Did a stick? Did you get a stick to work?
It's straight up a stick.
It's like growing up s'mores.
Growing up s'mores.
That's fantastic. Hey, use what you got, But, yeah, I mean, this isn't one that we've got a lot of notes to talk about, so I'm glad we just kind of, randomly bullshit a little bit, which is what we're all fantastic at.
Right.
But it's not about. You have your mom. Well, if you have alcohol before the show.
Yeah, I made the mistake and only fixed one.
Yeah, we should make it when he comes on next time. He has to have a 2-drink minimum prior to opening the session.
Man, he would. There was times, and some of the best shows y'all have ever seen with him ragging on me is, everybody has a different reaction to alcohol. When Derek drinks, he just gets funny as shit. So the shows that y'all have seen where he is just ragging the hell out of me is because when we were doing the full cameras and he's waiting on me to set up, he's putting a few back, and so by the time we start, he's already got 2-3 in before we ever hit record. So it's it makes for some very funny content at my expense, but it's worth it.
I'd like to say I'm just funny in nature, but no, apparently it's just the alcohol.
That's an alcohol assist, right? It's an assist.
Alcohol assist.
So you're funny in there somewhere. You just need a little assist.
It's right? The cape. That's what it is. Alcohol is my cape.
Your cape. But it's still if y'all watching, if you've not had Esteban Carreras, don't take this as a dig. This is a basic cigar. Give them a shot. They've got some other ones, and who knows? Maybe we'll bring them on the show. Maybe pull up some of the, the more, I don't want to say premium, but I guess the higher level tier that they've got. Even though this was intended to be a premium, my understanding, and feel free to anybody comment and correct me if I'm wrong. I felt that this was one of their first ones trying to get into aged tobacco. They've got some other ones that I do think are better. Maybe we'll bring them on. We'll see what happens, but definitely worth a brand that's worth showing. It's not a complete trash brand, as it's not one of those. It's a decent showing.
Yeah, for me, construction on this was good. I had no issues other than, like I said, my only thing I'd knock them for is that first
inch.
I couldn't get any smoke out of it, but
here's the band.
Construction was good.
The bands come off. My band came off perfectly clean.
Yeah, mine did too. No problem.
No wrapper pull.
You said just your cap unraveled on you? Is it still unraveling, or what did you do? Did you put some
No, it was
on it?
I pulled. Well, it kept pulling off. So I just pulled the cap off, and the rest of the wrapper is solid. It's not, even without a cap on there anymore. The rest of it's holding in place perfectly. So
it's almost like it didn't need a cap.
Exactly. So I mean, maybe they just missed a dab of pectin on my cap or something, because the rest of it, a lot of times you lose the cap, it starts unraveling. This one hasn't budged without the cap, so it's holding its own very well.
That's an impressive stick you got there, Derek.
Why, thank you. It's all natural.
All natural.
It's got a little curve to it.
Oh God.
Wow.
Well,
All right. On that note,
talk about a way to end the show. But no, Derek, I know it was kind of a last minute. Hey, come join us because it's been a while. We've been talking about trying to get you on the show. That's not a coy. We've actually said it on the show, trying to get you back. So I know schedules are different. Remote land, something me and Chad had to figure out. So definitely not gonna be the last time. We're gonna keep bringing you back in as your schedule allows us to do so. So it's good to bring everybody's faces back in for conversation. You never know what's gonna happen. Today was just a shoot the shit day. Sometimes that's all we need.
Next time, I'll start drinking ahead of time.
There we go.
2 drink minimum.
Yeah, well, I mean, now that the show's over, I'm going to go fix another one.
You're starting to feel good now.
I'll call you and let you know how the rest goes.
I like it. Well, all right, gents.
Awesome.
Appreciate the camaraderie as always. Getting together and smoking a stick. Maybe a budget stick, but it's still a good stick when you're smoking it with some friends. So I don't care if that's corny. It's just a fact all the way around. But stay out of too much cold with that weather we're getting the last month or two, and stay safe where you are. And Derek, keep that wife on her toes. You know we love her to death too. So
she don't need my help.
No. Yes, I won't go into that, but we love her.
I want to know what you meant by that.
More or less saying she doesn't need your help because she's got to keep you on track.
That and her job is keeping dum-dums alive.
That is fair. So she is, like we talked with Brett. We don't go into true details, but she's in the medical field, so she's got a very good weight on her shoulders, and she's got a lot of responsibility. So, hats off to her. So, but thanks for showing out, and so we'll get back on here again soon and bring up some more dumbass conversation like come our homage lately. But until next time, Hollow Down fam, y'all know the drill. Stay safe and hollow down.
See you guys.
Or whatever the outro music is. You still do that?
I do. It's still there.
Okay.